The night my son looked at me with quiet embarrassment, I realized there are wounds a mother can feel long before anyone speaks a single word. I remember sitting in my car outside that little fusion restaurant Marcus loved so much, Maru and Spice, the kind of place that smelled like warm soy, lemon zest, and faintly burnt garlic the moment you stepped inside. My hands rested on the steering wheel, but they weren't steady. They trembled, not from anger, not yet, but from something older, something deeper. A familiar ache. The kind that comes from being underestimated your whole damn life. The streetlights reflected faintly on the windshield as a drizzle tapped gently against the glass. Little specks of silver sliding downward, soft as whispers. I sat there for a moment longer, staring at my own reflection. Simple scarf, no makeup, thrift store cardigan, and the same old tote bag I'd carried for 6 years. I had done this on purpose, of course. Every bit of it was part of the test. But even knowing that, even planning that, something inside me felt heavy. I wasn't always like this, testing people, studying intentions, watching the shadows behind smiles. Life had made me this way. And if I was being honest, Veronica and Franklin hadn't even met me yet. But somehow, I already felt judged. Still, I whispered to myself, "Ara, you're stronger than this," and stepped out into the light rain. I didn't know then how deeply this dinner would cut or how much it would heal. All I knew was that my son, my sweet boy Marcus, couldn't even look me in the eyes earlier that afternoon when he said, "Mom, Simone's parents are in town. They want to meet you. Tonight." Not, "We want to meet you." They. Tells you everything, doesn't it? People always assumed I lived a simple life because I look like I lived a simple life. But I have learned, deliberately, painfully, that simplicity can be a shield sharper than armor. I make $40,000 a month. Yes, a month. Senior executive in global risk and strategy, 15 years in the industry, one of the few Black women in my field at my level. I own 6 properties, have investments that could float me for decades, and a retirement account I don't even check anymore because it grows like a stubborn weed in summer. But I wasn't always this woman. I grew up with hardship stitched into the lining of my clothes, with silence as my companion, and resilience as my inheritance. When you come from nothing, wealth doesn't feel like something you parade. It feels like something you protect. And so I built myself a life of quiet abundance, on purpose, with discipline, with the kind of clarity that only comes from knowing how bad life can get. My home is modest, 2 bedrooms, soft lamplight, shelves filled with old books, and a kitchen that smells like cinnamon on weekends because I bake when I'm stressed. I drive an older car that runs smooth because I maintain it better than some people maintain their marriages. I wear soft clothes, unbranded, clean, comfortable. Marcus grew up with this simplicity, and I taught him values, humility, gratitude, empathy, not by preaching, but by living them. He turned out good, a good man with a good heart, but even good hearts get shaken by the wrong people. Simone, well, she was polished, sweet, pretty in the kind of way that money helps shape, more gentle than harsh, but easily influenced. And her parents? I had only heard about them, but even their names sounded like people who liked their world arranged by bank balance. Veronica and Franklin Davenport. Old money, new arrogance. Marcus told me stories over the past year about how they traveled the world, about their 3 houses, about Franklin's business connections, about Veronica's charity luncheons where they raised money for causes she barely remembered the meaning of. They were the kind of people who talked about poverty like it was a documentary series. Still, I had hope, because parents loving their children, well, that's universal, right? But then that afternoon, when Marcus called me sounding just a little too rehearsed, just a little too pressed, a little too unsure, something inside me tightened. "Mom," he said again, "please dress nicely. They're particular." Nicely. Not beautifully, not confidently, not however you want. Particular. A mother knows when her child is ashamed, even if he doesn't realize it yet. So I nodded, smiled through the phone, said, "Of course, baby," and quietly planned my test. Looking back, the clues had been there. They always were. Little comments from Marcus. Simone's parents live differently. They're used to high standards. They asked about your job, like what exactly you do. They want to know if you'll need support when you retire. They asked what neighborhood we grew up in. "This dinner is important, Mom." And when he said important, his voice dropped lower, softer, with a weight that shouldn't have been on his shoulders. He'd never spoken that way about meeting my side of the family. But Marcus was raised to be respectful, thoughtful, and maybe even accidentally too eager to keep the peace. Simone didn't seem cruel, just caught between two worlds and unsure where to stand. But her parents? I could feel them forming judgments without even seeing my face. Still, nothing prepared me for the way that night unfolded. Not the tone in Veronica's voice, not the look on Franklin's face, not the disappointment in Marcus's eyes when they all turned to look at me as I walked into that restaurant on purpose, looking like a woman who barely scraped by. They thought they saw someone small, someone unimportant, someone they could size up in a single breath. What they didn't know was that I had walked into boardrooms where they wouldn't last 5 minutes. I stopped at the entrance, took a breath, let the warmth of the restaurant brush over me. Ginger, lemon, grilled meat, something smoky in the air. And then I lifted my chin and stepped forward. My son's smile faltered. Simone blinked rapidly, her fingers tightening around her napkin. Veronica raised a single eyebrow. Franklin glanced me over like scanning a price tag. And that's how the longest dinner of my life began.
The hostess smiled warmly when she saw me standing there, clutching my old tote bag like it held my whole life. She didn't know who I was, of course. To her, I was just another tired woman walking in from the rain. But the look on my son's face, that told a different story. Marcus stood up halfway, hesitating as if unsure whether to hug me or apologize for me. His eyes scanned my cardigan, my scarf, my shoes, then flickered towards Simone's parents as if silently pleading, "Please don't judge her too harshly." I saw it. Mothers always see it. "Hi, baby," I said softly as he finally stepped forward and hugged me, quick, tight, anxious. His body was stiff, almost polite. Not like my son. Never like my son. Simone rose next, giving me that warm, slightly nervous smile she always had when she was caught between two loyalties. She hugged me gently. And then came the parents. The first official meeting. Veronica and Franklin Davenport didn't need to announce themselves. Their presence did that for them. Veronica wore a cream silk blouse, diamond earrings that probably cost more than my first car, and a gold bracelet that glittered every time she moved. Her face was perfectly made up, soft lips, sharp eyes, and an expression that hovered between polite interest and quiet superiority. Franklin sat straight, tall, with the confidence of a man used to being the most important person in the room. His hands were clasped neatly, watch gleaming, one of those large, heavy ones that screamed old wealth. "Ara," Veronica said, pronouncing my name as if it were unfamiliar on her tongue. So nice to finally meet you." Her smile didn't reach her eyes. "Likewise," I answered calmly. Franklin nodded once, the kind of nod people give waiters when they refill a water glass. "Marcus and Simone have told us some things. Some things. Not good things, not kind things, just some things." I smiled gently and took my seat. The chair was still warm from the last guest who had occupied it. The restaurant was dimly lit, soft music humming, something jazzy, something expensive. I folded my hands in my lap and waited. I always wait. People show themselves eventually. The first insult arrives disguised as politeness. "So, Ara," Veronica began, tilting her head like she was observing something curious behind glass, "Marcus tells us you live in a cozy neighborhood." Cozy. The word was dipped in sweetness, but soaked in judgment. "It's peaceful. Good neighbors, quiet streets." Veronica nodded slowly, fingertips tapping the base of her wineglass. "That's nice. Very humble of you." Humble. There it was. A soft smile tugged at the corner of my lips. I had been in this situation before, many times. In offices, in boardrooms, in conferences where wealthy executives assumed my worth based on my outfit and my silence. Except this time, it wasn't strangers. It was my son's in-laws. Simone tried to change the subject. "Mom, Dad, Ara makes the best cinnamon rolls. She baked some for Marcus last week." But Franklin cut her off. "So, what do you do for work, Miss Ara? Something part-time? Administrative?" Marcus inhaled sharply, his knee jerking under the table. He didn't know how to save me without revealing what he didn't want to reveal. So I smiled sweetly. "Oh, nothing fancy. A little office work, pays the bills." Veronica leaned forward as if confirming her internal checklist. That explains your simplicity. It's refreshing." Refreshing. People use that word when they want to compliment you while placing you beneath them. For a moment, I caught Simone's expression, sad, embarrassed, conflicted. She wasn't cruel, she simply didn't know how to challenge her parents. But Marcus, his face was tight, his jaw clenched. He looked like he wanted to defend me but didn't know how, without exposing me. And that told me everything I needed to know. My son, the boy I raised to stand firm, felt cornered by the opinions of people who didn't even know me. The second wave, money, money, money. When the waiter came, bringing a bottle of wine Veronica had chosen without asking anyone, Franklin slipped easily into conversation about their vacation homes, Paris, Bali, Vancouver. Simone tried to talk about her job. Veronica interrupted. Marcus tried to talk about a promotion he hoped for. Franklin interrupted. But when the table fell quiet, Franklin looked at me and asked, "So, Ira, how do you manage financially? Must be difficult living on your income in today's economy. Do you have support?" Support. The way he said it, you'd think I was struggling to keep the lights on. I chuckled softly. "Well, I manage just fine. I've always been good with, budgeting." "Budgeting," Veronica echoed with gentle condescension. "That's important. I'm glad you're managing." Marcus closed his eyes for a second. It hurt him, too. I could see it. The offer that crossed the line. Eventually, the conversation took a turn I had been waiting for. Veronica folded her hands neatly, lowering her voice to a concerned tone. "Ara, we've been thinking about Marcus and Simone's future, stability, image, responsibility." Aha, there it was. I nodded, letting her continue. We don't want them to feel strained, taken care of, including you. Marcus's head snapped up. Mom doesn't, but Franklin raised a hand to silence him. We are prepared, he said calmly, to give you a monthly allowance. My heartbeat slowed. An allowance for necessities to help you stay comfortable. How much? I asked softly, keeping my voice steady. They exchanged glances. 7, Franklin finally said. 700 every month. 700. Marcus looked like he'd been punched. Simone's eyes widened, horrified. Dad, that's not... But I held up my hand to silence her, because this moment was mine. The rain outside grew heavier, a gentle drumbeat against the windows. The candles flickered, and inside me, something settled, a quiet, powerful calm. They thought they understood my value. They had no idea. I leaned back, folded my hands, and smiled. A smile they couldn't read. Not yet, but they would very soon. Because the test wasn't over. Not until they saw exactly who they were dealing with.
Franklin's words hung in the air like a sour smell that refused to fade. $700 to keep me comfortable, to help Marcus and Simone, to reduce the burden. A burden. That's what they saw when they looked at me. Not a woman who survived poverty, not a woman who rebuilt her life from scratch, not a woman who raised a son alone without ever asking the world for a dime. Just a burden. Marcus swallowed hard, eyes glassy with humiliation and disbelief. Dad, Mom, what are you even saying? My mother doesn't need your money. Veronica sighed dramatically, placing a manicured hand on his arm. Sweetheart, we're only trying to help. You're starting a family. You shouldn't have to cover everything. I watched the way Marcus froze, the way Simone stared at her plate, tears threatening, the way the waiter hesitated in the background, sensing tension but trained to pretend nothing was happening. This wasn't just ignorance. This was classism wearing the mask of concern. I leaned forward, my voice calm. I appreciate the offer, truly. But what makes you think Marcus covers anything for me? Veronica blinked. Oh, honey, that faux sympathetic tone that makes people want to rip off their earrings and fight? We know you try. We can see you're doing your best with what you have. My smile didn't move. My heart didn't race. My breath didn't waver. Not anymore. But Marcus? He broke. Mom doesn't need your money, he said louder than he intended, his voice cracking. People at nearby tables turned their heads. I touched his wrist gently, a mother's silent reassurance. It's all right, baby, I whispered. But Veronica wasn't done. People like her rarely stop when they think they're right. We're not insulting you. We're insisting. We're offering you support. That's what families do, especially when someone has limited means. Limited means. Those two words slipped under my skin like cold water. Franklin added, it's not charity, it's strategic. We want Marcus and Simone to have a certain lifestyle. And, well, image matters. Their future matters. Appearances matter. Then he lowered his voice. And it's better if your circumstances don't overshadow theirs. My circumstances. He meant me. He meant the way I dressed, the car I drove, the neighborhood I lived in. He meant my entire existence. Simone finally spoke, her voice trembling. Dad, Mom, please stop. This isn't right. But Veronica gently rubbed her daughter's shoulder, as if comforting a fragile child. Simone, darling, you don't understand how the world works yet.
Simone's tears slipped anyway. Marcus clenched his fists under the table. And I sat there quietly, watching all of it like a woman who had seen this movie before. People with loud wealth always assume quiet people have nothing. Another layer of insult. When the meals arrived, salmon, miso steak, glazed vegetables, the tension lingered like thick smoke. Veronica tried to smooth things over with small talk. It only made things worse. So, Ara, do you rent your home or own it? On a loan, I assume. I took a sip of water. I own it, I said simply. Her eyebrows lifted. Oh, fully paid off. Years ago. A flicker of surprise, then annoyance that she had miscalculated me. Franklin chuckled. You got lucky with the market then. Some older properties can be fairly cheap. I smiled softly. Mine wasn't. He paused. Not long. Just long enough to show his confusion, but he shrugged it off quickly. People like him don't believe people like me can be above their expectations. So you've saved some money, then? He asked lightly. A bit, I replied. How much is a bit? Veronica asked, amused. Enough. They laughed. Real laughter. The kind that says, poor thing thinks she's being mysterious. Simone wiped another tear. Marcus looked like his soul was tearing apart. And the rain outside grew heavier, hammering the windows in steady rhythm. The breaking point arrives with a smile. The meal was nearly over when Veronica placed her hand over mine gently. Ara, we're not trying to push you away, she said with a soft voice I might have believed if I hadn't met women like her my whole life. We just think it's healthier if Marcus and Simone spend more time focusing on their future and less time worrying about you. Worrying, Franklin added. And honestly, if you need anything, you can always call us instead. We'd prefer to help directly. Prefer to control. Prefer to oversee. Prefer to own the narrative. Then Veronica said the line that sealed it. We just want Marcus to marry into the right kind of family. And with you, well, their starting point is already lower. Lower. A hush fell over the table. Marcus's face went red. He opened his mouth, then shut it. Simone covered her face. I'm so sorry, she whispered. I waited. I let them sit in their own words for a moment. Then I smiled. A calm, steady, elegant smile. Well, I said softly, thank you for your honesty. I finally understand everything now. Franklin nodded proudly, thinking he had guided me. Veronica exhaled in relief, believing I had accepted their verdict. Marcus looked scared. Simone looked ashamed. And me, inside my heart, a door opened. A quiet door. A powerful door. Because the time for the reveal was coming. And when it came, it would not be loud, not cruel, not vindictive. Just the truth. Clear, sharp, undeniable. I didn't need to humiliate them. Their own words had already done that. All I had to do was let them see who they were talking to.
I didn't sleep that night. Every sound in the house felt louder than usual. The ticking clock, the humming fridge, even my own heartbeat. Marcus stayed in his room, quiet. Alina sat on the living room couch, staring at her hands like she was afraid they'd start shaking again. I made 2 cups of tea and walked to her. Drink, I said gently. She looked up, eyes red. Why are you being so kind to me? She whispered. I sat beside her. Because a scared woman is still a woman in need, And because my son loves you." She nodded slowly, wiping her tears. After a long silence, she finally spoke. "There's something else I didn't tell Marcus." My stomach tightened. "What is it now, baby?" She took a deep breath. "That man, my husband, he didn't just threaten me. He followed me. He knows where Marcus works. He knows where you live." My heart dropped. "Why didn't you tell us sooner?" I asked, trying to keep my voice calm. She looked at me with pure fear. "Because he said if I told anyone, he would hurt all of us." I put my hand on hers. "Listen to me. You're safe here, but hiding truth only makes danger stronger." Just then, I heard footsteps. Marcus walked in, face tired, eyes swollen, like he'd been crying alone. He looked at Alina. "Tell me everything," he said quietly. "No more secrets." Alina swallowed hard. "I will, but I don't know if you'll still want me after you hear it." Marcus stepped closer. "I won't leave, but I need the truth." The air in the room felt heavy, like the storm was finally about to break. Alina took a shaky breath and began to confess the part she had been running from for too long. Alina's lips trembled as she tried to speak. Marcus stood in front of her, arms crossed, but I could see the fear in his eyes too. Finally, she exhaled. "Marcus, before I met you, I wasn't just running from my husband. I was running from the life he trapped me in." Marcus frowned. "What does that mean?" Her voice cracked. "He forced me into things I didn't want. Things that could put all of us in danger." I felt a cold chill crawl up my spine. "Baby, talk plain," I said softly. "What kind of things?" She looked at me, then at Marcus, then finally lowered her eyes. "He used my name, my ID, for illegal money transfers." Marcus stared at her, stunned. "Alina, what? Are you telling me the police are looking for you?" She covered her face with her hands. "I don't know. I just know that when I left him, he blamed everything on me. He said if I didn't come back, he'd make sure I went to jail instead of him." Marcus stepped back like she had pushed him. "You should have told me this on the first day," he said, voice breaking. She sobbed harder. "I was scared you'd leave me the same way everyone else did." The room fell silent. I leaned forward and held her hands. "Listen to me. If you want help, you can't hide anymore." Marcus paced the room, anger and fear mixing on his face. "So that man isn't just abusive, he's dangerous. He's a criminal." Alina nodded, tears running down her cheeks. "And he won't stop until he finds me." Marcus stopped pacing. "Then he'll have to come through me first." I stood up quickly. "Marcus, don't say things you can't take back." "No, Mom," he said firmly. "I'm done being scared. If she's in danger, then we all are. And I'm not letting her face this alone." Alina looked at him like he had just handed her life back. But deep inside my chest, a heavy fear settled. Because I knew something Marcus didn't. Dangerous men don't fight fair. They fight to destroy. And from the look in Alina's eyes, we were already in the middle of a storm none of us were prepared for. That night, The house felt heavier than ever, not because of fear, but because of the truth finally sitting in every room like an uninvited guest. Marcus stayed close to Alina, but I could see the storm behind his eyes. He loved her, that much was clear. But love mixed with fear can tear a person apart from the inside. Around midnight, I heard a soft knock on my bedroom door. It was Marcus. "Mom, can we talk?" I nodded and sat up. He walked in slowly, like his legs were carrying a weight too heavy. "I don't know what to do," he whispered. "Son, sit down," I said gently. He sat at the edge of the bed and stared at the floor. "I love her, but everything she told us, it's big, real big." I put my hand on his back. Love ain't supposed to be easy, but it also ain't supposed to destroy you. He closed his eyes. "Do you think she's telling the truth?" I sighed deeply. "I think she's scared, and scared people can lie, but they also tell the truth when they got nothing left." He nodded slowly. "She said her husband was abusive, violent, controlling." His voice cracked a little. "I can't imagine someone hurting her like that." Just then, we both heard a sound, a soft, distant tap, like something hitting the living room window. Marcus froze. "You heard that?" he whispered. I nodded and stood up with him. We walked down the hallway quietly. The living room was dark, only the street light shining through the curtains. Another tap, this time louder. Alina sat up from the couch, eyes wide. "Did you hear that?" she whispered. Marcus stepped in front of her protectively. Then we heard it, a low voice from outside. "Alina, I know you're in there." Her whole body shook. Marcus grabbed her hand. I felt my heart nearly stop. The voice came again, louder this time. "You think you can hide from me?" Marcus rushed to the door, but I grabbed his arm. "Boy, don't you dare open that door," I hissed. He clenched his jaw, chest rising fast. "Mom, he found her." Alina was crying silently, her hands over her mouth. The voice outside grew colder. "Open the door, or I will." In that moment, I realized this wasn't just fear anymore. This wasn't just secrets and heartbreak. This was war, and it had finally arrived at our front door. The voice outside didn't just echo, it cut through the house like a cold wind. Alina froze on the couch. Marcus stood in front of her, fists clenched. I positioned myself beside them, my heart pounding, slow but heavy. The streetlight outside flickered, and then, bang, bang, bang. 3 harsh knocks, not like a visitor, like an intruder claiming territory. Alina buried her face in her hands. "He found me! Oh God, he actually found me!" I knelt in front of her. "Baby, look at me," I whispered firmly. "You ain't alone now. Nothing's happening to you under my roof." Marcus walked toward the door again, fire in his eyes. "Marcus," I snapped quietly, "you don't open a door when the devil knocks. You stay smart, you stay steady." He swallowed hard and nodded. Another voice joined the night. "Alina, open this door now." His tone was sharp, practiced, the voice of a man used to breaking people down until they obeyed. I reached for my phone. I didn't call the police yet, but my finger hovered over the screen. Not because I was scared of him, but because police arriving at a black home in the middle of the night often created more danger than safety. I needed to think clearly. Marcus stood close to Alina, keeping his body between her and the door. Then we heard footsteps circling the house, slow, deliberate, like he was inspecting the walls, the windows, everything. Alina trembled. "He always does that," she whispered. "He walks around the house. He waits for me to panic." I closed my eyes a moment. Lord, give me strength. Then, tap, tap, right at the kitchen window. We all turned sharply. A shadow passed by. Marcus whispered, "Mom, he's dangerous." "I know," I replied, "but we ain't folding." Another voice joined him, someone else outside. A second man. They whispered to each other. We couldn't hear the words, just the tone. Sharp, angry, frustrated. Alina began shaking again. "He brought one of his cousins. He always uses him to scare people." That did it. I dialed 911. But before pressing call, I heard something, a subtle, unexpected sound. A car, pulling up fast, too fast. Headlights spilled across the living room wall. Marcus stiffened. "Who is that?" We all turned toward the front windows. A car door slammed shut, then another. Footsteps, running. The men outside grew quiet. For a moment, silence took over the night. Then, a voice loud and fierce. "You better step away from my sister." Marcus whispered, shocked. "Is that Simone?" Another voice snapped behind hers. "Try something tonight, I dare you." Simone's brother. And just like that, the balance of the night shifted. The abuser stepped back. His cousin moved with him. I could see their shadows, no longer bold, no longer prowling. They were retreating because for the first time, they weren't in control. Simone's voice cracked the night again. "The police are already on their way. You want prison tonight? Keep playing." Their footsteps shuffled, then turned, then faded. A car door slammed, another engine starting, tires taking off down the road. Silence. Real silence. Alina collapsed into Marcus's arms, sobbing uncontrollably. Simone burst through the door seconds later, out of breath. "Oh my God, are you okay? Are you hurt?" Marcus held Alina tight, burying his face in her hair. "I'm here," he whispered. "I'm not letting anyone touch you, ever again." Simone ran to me, tears brimming. "Auntie, I couldn't just sit at home after her text. I had to come." I hugged her. "You did right, baby. You did exactly right." But as I held her, I knew something. Tonight wasn't the end. Tonight was just the beginning. Because once violence shows its face, it never truly leaves without a fight. And that fight had just arrived in our family. For a long moment, none of us said a word. The house felt like it was breathing, slow, heavy breaths, trying to calm itself after the chaos that shook its walls. Simone's brother, Malik, stepped inside last, tall, broad-shouldered, still tense with the protective anger that brought him here. He locked the door behind him. "You sure they're gone?" Marcus asked, his voice rough. Malik nodded. "I watched them peel off down the street. They won't risk coming back with neighbors awake and cars outside. Cowards always fold when they lose the audience." I noticed his hands, still trembling from the adrenaline. Simone stepped beside him. "Alina, you're safe now, okay? You're with people who actually care about you." Alina wiped her tears, but her body was still shaking too much to speak. Marcus held her close, rubbing her back, whispering something only she could hear. I sat across from them, my hands intertwined, my mind racing. I couldn't shake that voice outside my window. The arrogance, the threat, the entitlement. A man who believed he owned her. I'd seen that type before. They broke bones, broke confidence, broke whole souls, then acted like they were the victims. Not tonight. Not under my roof. Simone finally spoke, her tone softer now. Alina, did he track your phone, your email, anything? Alina nodded faintly. He always knows. He used to tell me that even if I ran across the world, he'd find me. Marcus clenched his jaw, the muscle in his cheek twitching. Not anymore, he said quietly. Malik pulled out a chair and sat forward, elbows on his knees. Look, he said, voice deep, steady. You gotta give us the full truth. Every detail. We can't protect you if we don't know what we're up against. Alina hesitated, but I could see the moment she broke. Something inside her just let go. She took a shaky breath. He wasn't just abusive. Her voice cracked. He was involved in things I didn't know about until it was too late. Marcus pulled back slightly, searching her eyes. What things? She swallowed, her throat tight. He was laundering money through one of his businesses, and when I tried to leave, he said that if I ever talked, he'd bury me. Simone gasped softly. Malik sat back. Damn. I felt my heart sink. This wasn't just a bad marriage or a violent man. This was something tangled, dangerous, bigger than any of us wanted to admit. Marcus took a slow breath. Why didn't you tell me? He whispered. I was scared you'd walk away, she whispered back. I thought my past would ruin your life. I thought you'd see me as a risk. He nodded gently. You're not a risk. You're someone I love. Her eyes filled again, but this time with a different kind of tears. Relief, unbelief, something softer. Malik stood and began pacing. We need to be smart. If this man works with criminal people, we can't just rely on threats and yelling outside your house. I nodded. He'll come back. Men like him don't accept losing control. Simone crossed her arms, thinking deeply. Alina, did you ever file a report, a restraining order, anything? No, she whispered. He said if I went to the police, he would show them videos, things he recorded without my permission, private moments. He said he'd ruin my name and my family's name. I felt pain hit my chest like a slow punch. These modern devils, they didn't always use fists. Sometimes they used shame, humiliation, blackmail. Marcus rested his forehead against hers. You should have told me. I'm stronger with the truth than with lies. Alina sobbed into his shoulder. I'm sorry, he whispered. I know, and we're going to fix this. Simone placed a gentle hand on Alina's knee. Baby, you're not alone anymore. We got you. Malik's voice cut in, level, serious. I have a friend who works in cybersecurity. He can wipe your digital footprint, so no location tracking can tag you again. We start with that, tonight. Alina nodded quickly, relief lighting the corner of her expression. Marcus exhaled. Thank you, man. Really? Malik shrugged lightly. Family is family. I looked at all of them. My son, my future daughter-in-law, and this brave young woman who had endured too much for her age. I felt something shift inside me. A line, a vow, a quiet promise. I wasn't just a witness in this anymore. I was part of their fight now, and I would not let that monster take anything else from her. I sat forward and spoke gently but firmly. Alina, your past is not your shame. Your past is his sin, and we will not let a sinner write the end of your story. She looked at me, tears falling silently, but her eyes holding a new spark.
hope. But hope is fragile. And sometimes it lights up right at the edge of another storm. Because just when we thought the night was over, Marcus's phone buzzed. All of us froze. He lifted it. A message from an unknown number. 4 words. "You'll regret this, boy." Marcus's hand tightened. Simone gasped. Alina's body went cold. And my heart told me something I didn't want to believe. This man wasn't done. Not yet. Not by a long shot.
Marcus stared at the message like he was trying to burn a hole straight through the screen. I stood up slowly, my chest tightening. "Dodi, what does it say?" I asked, though I already knew I wouldn't like the answer. He swallowed hard. "Mom, it says, 'You'll regret this, boy.'" Simone covered her mouth. Alina's knees buckled and she collapsed back onto the couch. "God, no, 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 no. He's doing it again. He's pulling Marcus into this." Marcus's hand trembled as he locked his phone. Malik paced near the window, checking outside like a soldier scanning enemy territory. "That man ain't slick," Malik muttered. "He wants to scare you. He wants to show he can reach you whenever he wants. It's psychological warfare." Simone looked at her brother. "Malik, what do we do now?" He exhaled sharply. "We do what he doesn't expect. We think. We don't rush. We don't panic. We don't give him the reaction he wants." But Marcus? Marcus wasn't calm. I watched my son's jaw lock, his shoulders go stiff, that familiar fire building behind his eyes, the kind that always scared me a little. "Marcus," I said, "step in closer. I need you to breathe right now." He didn't respond. His hands balled into fists. "Marcus," I repeated, softer but firmer, "look at me." Finally, he turned his head toward me. His eyes were wet. "Mom, he threatened me. In my own house. He came to your doorstep. I know. I'm supposed to protect the people I love. I'm supposed to keep them safe. You will, but not if you let him drag you down to his level." His chest rose and fell with heavy breaths. Simone touched his arm. "Baby, don't do anything stupid, please." Alina reached for him too, her voice shaking. "This is what he wants. He wants you angry. He wants you reckless." Marcus sank onto the couch, burying his face in his hands. Malik leaned on the doorframe. "I've seen men like him," he said, quietly. "They don't stop, not until someone forces them to." I shook my head. "No, they stop when you take away their power. Violent men aren't fearless, they're empty, and empty people crumble when the right light hits them." Malik nodded respectfully. "You're right, Auntie, but that don't mean we can sit here and pretend this ain't escalating." A sudden silence filled the room. Heavy, sharp, almost buzzing. I felt it first, the shift. Alina's eyes dropped to her lap. Simone looked away. Marcus sat still. It wasn't fear, it was shame. The kind that comes when you realize something dangerous has crawled into your life, and you're partly the reason for it. I spoke softly. "You don't fight darkness with more darkness. You fight it by exposing it." Marcus lifted his head. "So what do we do?" I sat down across from him. "We prepare. We document every message, every threat, everything she's told us. We create a trail he can't erase." Simone nodded quickly. Yes, that. Paperwork scares controlling men because they lose control." Malik chimed in, already pulling out his phone. I'll call my cybersecurity guy first thing in the morning. He'll wipe her location, her digital ties, everything. Her phone, her apps, her email, all new." Alina whispered, barely audible, "What if he finds me another way?" "We'll deal with it one step at a time," I said gently. "Tonight, you're safe." But as the words left my mouth, I wasn't entirely sure I believed them. The world doesn't always give you safety in tidy packages. Sometimes it gives you temporary shelter and expects you to build safety yourself. A strange calm settled over the room. Not peace, but readiness. Then Simone suddenly straightened. "Wait." She looked at Alina. "Baby, when you were with him, did you ever give him access to Marcus's number, or Malik's, or mine?" Alina's face paled. She covered her mouth. I don't know. I used to go through my phone sometimes. He memorized numbers." Marcus shut his eyes. Malik cursed under his breath. Simone sat back, stunned. "So he might have all our numbers?" Alina nodded, tears rolling down her cheeks. "I'm so sorry. I didn't mean—" "No." Marcus grabbed her hand. "Stop apologizing. You didn't do this. He did." But there was something else in Marcus's expression. Something deeper, something heavier. I saw it before he spoke. "Mom," he said quietly, "that message, it wasn't just a threat." I leaned closer. "What was it?" "It came from a spoofed number. No caller ID, random digits." Malik's eyes widened. "He used a digital masking app. He's hiding his tracks." Marcus nodded slowly. "That means he's not scared. He's careful." I felt the room tilt slightly. Not literally, but emotionally. Because people who make sloppy threats are dangerous. But people who make calculated threats, they're worse. Marcus's voice grew low. "He's not backing down, Mom. He's planning something." My hands tightened around each other. "I know, son," I whispered, "but we are too." The clock on the wall ticked loudly into the tense silence. Tick, tick, tick. A reminder that time never waits for anyone, not even people running from their past. Finally, I stood. "All right," I said, my voice as steady as stone. "Everybody listen carefully. Tonight, we rest. Tomorrow, we fight smart." Marcus nodded. Simone wiped her eyes. Malik cracked his knuckles. Alina took a trembling breath and leaned against my shoulder. And me? I stared at the locked front door and prayed it would hold. Because I had a feeling the danger outside hadn't slipped away completely. It was circling, calculating, waiting for the next opening. And whether we liked it or not, our lives had just been pulled into a battle shaped long before tonight. A battle where love, fear, anger, and truth were all tangled together, and only one side was going to walk away unbroken. The pounding on the door grew harder, louder, angrier. Bang, bang, bang. "Open this damn door," the man shouted again. His voice was deep, slurred with rage, the kind of voice that could shake a child's bones. Alina curled into Marcus like a terrified little girl. "Please don't let him in. Please," she whispered, shaking so badly her teeth clattered. I moved toward the door slowly, quietly, not to open it, but to look through the small side window. And the moment I saw his face, my stomach turned. A heavy-built man, eyes red, jaw clenched, breathing like an animal. His shirt wrinkled, hair messy, fists bruised like he'd already fought somebody today. Marcus came beside me. "That's him?" he whispered. I nodded. Marcus's nostrils flared, and I saw the veins on his arms tighten. "Mom, he's not taking her back." Before I could stop him, he stepped toward the door. "Marcus," I hissed, "don't open that door." But the knocking turned to violent kicks. Boom! The door shook on its hinges. Alina screamed again. That was the moment I realized something. This man wasn't just here to talk. He came with intention, with anger, with possession in his eyes. Marcus shouted through the door, "Leave before I call the police." The man laughed, a slow, disgusting laugh. "You think I care about the police? That girl is my responsibility. Open the damn door before I break it down." My hand flew to my mouth. "Your responsibility?" I muttered under my breath. No, this wasn't responsibility. This was obsession, control, abuse. I looked back at Alina, small, shaking, crying, and something fierce rose in me. A mother, a protector, a warrior. I stepped forward, pushed Marcus gently behind me, and spoke through the door with a voice I didn't even recognize. "Sir, you need to leave. This is my home." For a moment, silence. Then he growled, "Lady, stay out of this. That girl belongs to me." Belongs. The word burned through me like fire. I unlocked the chain on the door, not to open it, but so I could speak closer, and said, "She is a child. She belongs to no man." Boom. He kicked again, harder, and the frame trembled. Marcus grabbed a baseball bat from the hallway closet. "Mom, step back. I'm not letting him hurt us." But before anything else happened, before the next kick, before Marcus swung, red and blue lights flashed outside the window. A patrol car skidded to a stop. The man froze mid-kick. Marcus exhaled. Thank God. But Alina shook her head violently, eyes wide in fear. No, you don't understand," she whispered. "What, baby?" I asked gently. "The police, they know him. They listen to him. He always talks his way out. He'll just tell them I ran away again." My heart sank. The man straightened his shirt, lifted his chin, and put on a calm, innocent face, like he'd done this 100 times. The officer stepped out of the car. "Sir, what's going on here?" The man pointed at our house. "That woman is hiding my stepdaughter. She ran away from home again." My blood boiled. Alina's sobs grew louder. Marcus tightened his grip on the bat, and the officer walked toward our front door, his expression unreadable. The officer walked up our porch slowly, his flashlight cutting through the dark. Behind him, the abusive man stood tall, acting calm, confident, like he had already won. Alina hid behind me, shaking. "Please don't let them take me," she whispered, voice breaking. I held her hand tight. Marcus stood on her other side, chest rising and falling with anger. The officer cleared his throat. "Ma'am, we got a call about a runaway minor. Is the girl inside your home?" Before I could speak, the man shouted from behind him, "She's hiding my stepdaughter. She took her in without permission." I stepped forward, keeping my voice steady. "Officer, she is not safe with that man. She came here to escape abuse." The officer paused, just for a second, studying my face, then Alina's tear-stained one. "Is that true?" he asked gently. Alina stepped forward, voice trembling but brave. "Yes, he hits me. He threatens me. He said he'd kill me if I left." Her whole body shook as she spoke. "He's not my father. He's my mother's husband. And she doesn't protect me." The man exploded. "She's lying. She's always lying. The officer raised his hand sharply. "Sir, step back." For the first time, the man's confidence cracked. He took a step forward anyway, anger boiling, and the officer blocked him. I said, "Step back." The man froze. The officer turned fully to Alina. "Do you feel unsafe with him?" "Yes," she whispered, barely audible. Tears rolled down her cheeks. The officer nodded slowly, and everything changed in that one moment. "All right, "You're not going with him tonight." The man snapped. "What? You can't." The officer cut him off. "Turn around, hands behind your back." "What the hell for?" "You kicked a private door, issued threats, and tried to forcibly remove a minor. That's enough." The man lunged forward, and that was the end of it. The officer pinned him fast, handcuffed him, and pushed him toward the patrol car. Alina collapsed to her knees, sobbing. Marcus dropped beside her, wrapping his arms around her tightly. "It's over," he whispered. "I promise, you're safe now." I felt tears slip down my own cheeks. For months, this girl carried fear in her eyes. Tonight, that fear finally broke. The officer came back to the porch. "She'll need to speak with social services, but for now, she can stay with you. She's safe." I nodded. "Thank you, officer." When he left, the house became quiet again. Not tense, not terrified, just quiet. Alina looked up at me, her voice small and full of relief. "Thank you for saving me." I knelt beside her and held her hands. "No, baby, you saved yourself. You survived. We just stood beside you." Marcus helped her to her feet, wiped her tears, and guided her inside. For the first time since she arrived, she smiled. Not big, not confident, but a small, fragile smile of someone who finally saw a little bit of light. And standing there in my living room, I realized something. Sometimes family isn't blood. Sometimes it's the people who choose to stand between you and the darkness. And that night, we became her family.